a lot of black African people or a lot of black people do that. Where you find it, probably Asian people do that as well. If people can't pronounce your name, you sort of find an easier name for them to pronounce. Not find an easier name, it's still my name, but you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Chinese Asian people, when they come to England, a lot of them like change their names to like British name, like Linda or Sarah or something. I remember my sister telling me there was a girl at a uni.
Yeah.
I think she had a very generic English name, and that wasn't her name. She just picked a name because she thought that people would struggle to pronounce her name. Yeah.
Wow.
It's such a shame. But yeah, there's like a lot of things that you probably don't notice. Like, okay, let's do the famous one that everybody knows. When you see a black woman with a different hairstyle, especially braids or twist, please do not go to touch her hair.
Oh my gosh. Or touch my afro. Oh my gosh. Does it feel like cloud when you sleep? Is it like a second pillow? It's like, what? Does your hair feel like pillow? Like, what are you talking about?
Honestly.
What are you talking about?
Let me just tell you guys now listening, yeah? If you don't know anything about black hair or you're not familiar with how it works, it takes us hours to wash our hair. It takes a lot. So I don't know where your hands have been. Please don't touch my hair.
Don't touch my hair.
I want to put Solange's song right now in this bit. Please don't touch my hair because I don't know where your hands have been. When I was in Hall, when I was doing Oliver Twist, was it last year or 2 years ago? Hall, there's not really a lot of black people there, and I was at the shopping centre. They had a Burger King in there because and I was doing my fat days. So I used to just eat McDonald's and burgers whenever,
I'm a fan of McDonald's, man. That's the life.
True. I miss McDonald's. Please come back.
I do. They are back. They're back.
They're back, but not anywhere near me. I'm so.
Blackpool, sorry.
Yeah, a bit awkward still. But yeah. So and then I was in Burger King in the queue for Burger King, and I was waiting to go back home for the weekend, so that my friend could braid my hair for the show. And all out of nowhere, I just felt like hands inside my hair, like my afro. And this lady just came up, she's like, oh my God, I didn't expect it to feel like this.
It's like, huh?
You know when you're like, Sally, excuse me, I'm going to need you to take your hands off it. Just, yeah. I felt so used. I felt like literally...
Right.
The rest of the day, I was like, I can't wait to get home to go and wash my hair. I actually don't know where your hands have been, so don't come and touch my hair. If you see us with braids or twists, stop trying to figure out the mannerisms of, how did you put it together? Like, it just...
I didn't get it in there. And don't get me wrong, some people are just, like, blatantly, like, clueless of how it works, and... Fine, we can educate you and tell you, this is how it works. But there are other people who just take the beat. Mm-hmm. They just take the absolute piss. High school, honest, because of course, moving to the UK, moving to the UK, I was 12 years old, and I went straight to high school, and, girls would touch my hair, and be like, oh my gosh, it feels so soft. It feels like a cloud. And I'm just here, like, thinking, I'm coming from Nigeria, where I am not the minority. White people were the minority there. You don't see me touching your hair and thinking, oh my gosh, this feels like, I don't even know what boy should feel like.
Literally.
It's just hair, it's just hair. It's just a different, like, texture of hair. Just like yours is straight and I don't know what, maybe soft. Mine is just kinky. Mine can be soft if I decide to, like, take care of it that way. And if it's coarse, then it's my hair. Do you understand? Don't just... make my hair, don't make it feel like I'm some type of, I should be put in a
box or something.
Yeah,
you're not up for display.
Exactly, that's the word. I am not up for display with my hair, and please do not touch my hair.
Do you know what this came to me now? I'm glad we're using the word black women, and I'm not saying black men don't go through this, but you don't see them as much, like people saying, you don't see people going to black men as much, being like, oh, can I feel your hair?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen to them as much.
I mean, my brother, to be fair, he's 17, he was talking to me about when it was, because he's trying to get like some waves in, so it was combing his hair or whatever. He just said he remembered one time that he fell asleep on the bus, and some guys were just like touching his hair, like just like playing with his hair. And when he woke up to look at them, they kind of looked like, wait, what? Like, about to like beat him up or something. He was thinking, "You're lucky I'm not," you know. He was like, "You're lucky I'm sleeping," or something like that. But I just thought, like, why?
That's so cheeky. You don't have permission to do stuff like that.
Exactly, and then you're now bullying the poor guy on top of it as well. Like, even if something tempted you to touch it, at least just show like some sort of, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "Oh, you know." But they were just. So it's like they're right or whatever to do, whatever they wanted to do.
And you know what? Sometimes I genuinely don't mind having a conversation with you about like hair routine and what we do and everything. I love I'm into hair care now and skincare and everything. I genuinely don't mind, but it's easy to tell when people actually are genuinely interested and when people are just really fascinated. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Just go and YouTube it or go and Google it or something. But yeah, I mean that's it from me and Tames. Can I call you Tames?
Yeah, you can call me anything. I mean, I've been called worse. Eyitemi, Timmy. Oh, it's Timmy. It's Timmy.
I've been called Kiwi. I don't know how you get Kevwe from Kevwe to Kiwi. And then I had Kevin as well.
It was Timmy. It was people spell my name as time, and I'm like, how? Timmy. How is it Timmy?
Correlation.
Cool.
It's not making sense. But yeah, that's it from me and Timmy. I'm gonna add my other guest on here and we're gonna talk about different experiences because I thought it'd be more interesting to put on different people and I'll put in some voice recording as well from people that couldn't record and they just rather sent a voice recording in. But yeah, say bye Timmy and yeah guys, don't forget to follow her on her YouTube channel. What's your Instagram, babe?
Instagram, oof, man, you have to go to Yoruba School to learn how to spell my name for this one. It is Eyitemi1, so it's Eyitemi, so Eyitemi1.
Per usual, I will tag her on the Just to Joy podcast page on Instagram so that you've got her details there as well. Please do follow and please go and subscribe to her because I want to get free makeup or I want her to make money so she can turn into influencer. I don't want to spend money on foundation no more, okay? Thank you.
It's not your fault.
Hello guys, so moving on from Timmy, we've got a new guest in the house. She is most things that I would hope to be like in the future, i.e. she loves the gym. I would love to love the gym in the future. No, actually no, I take that back. I never want to love the gym. As soon as I get a flat stomach, I'm out. Deuces. But yeah, Brie loves the gym. What else? She's very patient. So that's definitely one thing that I would love to have in the future. I would love to acquire if I want to be a patient person. So I'm going to let Brianna introduce herself, my homegirl.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm 24. I'm from Oxford. I love the gym. I'm trying to teach Joy all the time about eating habits. You know, she asked me how to get a flat stomach, and I'm trying out here. I'm trying. Yeah, what do you want to know?
So Brianna is an actress as well.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, that thing that she loves doing at all times. That's how me and Brianna actually know each other. We went to the same drama school. She was in a year above me. But yeah, so Brianna is here to talk about the usual topic. We're going to gist, like I said earlier on at the start with Timmy, sort of racism and her experience with that. And yeah, go on, Brie.
Take it away. Okay, so obviously at drama school, a few things that stand out to me. Surprisingly, the majority of the times were probably at drama school. One moment that stands out to me a lot was we were doing like poetry, I think it was, and we were getting feedback. So we were all going around the class. The teacher was giving us feedback, and then she was like, "Brianna, your casting is black."
Oh my god. Oh my goodness me. Wow.
I mean, at the time it was funny, but like I think it's like one of those things, you know what I mean? It's like an initial reaction when you're kind of always the minority in the room. But then later on, you start to think like nobody else's feedback was regarding their race, the casting type. That is not a casting type. Yeah.
Isn't it so? One of the ones. Isn't it really funny though? I mean, it's not funny, but you know when you have someone's racist to you, you never really know how to react at first. You always like, oh, and then it's like 20 seconds or a minute afterwards that you're like, oh, did that just happen? You never know how to react at first. You're not shocked, but you're always, I don't know. I've had that experience so many times. Like in Wigan, I went shopping with one of my friends, Kim. Shout out to Kim. I'm not talking to Kim in ages. I hope she's doing well. Somebody called her a traitor for being out with me in Wigan. Yeah. And you know when you're like, I didn't know how to react until after we got back home. I was just like, it's like it finally settled in, like what they said.
Yeah.
It was just Wigan's a very cheap place to live. Wigan is if I was white and I know that I don't have to worry about racism, I wouldn't mind living in a place like Wigan. It's just that the EDL do visit Wigan and they don't do anything about it. Unlike Manchester, where the EDL would never dare to come to. I remember one day at drama school, the EDL actually they came to Wigan, and it was very scary. Like I was like, am I gonna get to school today, or what's going on? Am I gonna get to uni today? And we're at uni, and it was just like, oh, how? Because at the time I still lived in the big house on King, like in the city centre in King Street. So I was just like, well, I don't know where. People were saying they were in town, so we were like, what are we gonna? Can we go back? What's going on? And I think Keenan and Lamin actually, I think they did venture out into town. I can't remember what happened or how they dealt with it, but yeah, it's funny. Do you know what's funny? I was about to mention the teacher that I know you're on about, but I'm not gonna say her name. But I had a lesson with Brie, and I think you probably had the same feedback. I think every black girl has probably had the same feedback. I think she said that to Yasmin as well. She told me that she could hear my ancestors in me. And then one time, I had another feedback from her at the end of the term that another teacher had to apologize on behalf of her. She said that I needed to embrace my Negro roots a bit more. She was like, because
oh my gosh,
English is your second language, isn't it? I was like,
I'm shook.
You know what's funny? Because me, I'm guys, sometimes I can be a bit lazy. Me, I wanted to get good grades, so I went with it. I'm like, yeah, English is my second language. That's gonna get me a higher grade because you think, oh yeah, she's obviously having to overcome like more obstacles, so therefore give her a higher grade. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, sure. And then later on, the other teacher piped in and was like, no, she's from Blackpool. And then he pulled me aside later and he apologized and he was like, hey, you're right. I was like, yeah, that's like, but
oh my god,
you can't. It gets to a certain point. You can't forgive people for sort of racism just because of their age or because of how they were raised. You should know wrong from right.
That's the thing. I think the first time it happens, it's like, okay, ha ha ha. But then when it happens continuously, you have an encounter with this person, then you can't be excused anymore. Like going back to the ancestor comment, I also had with another tutor in a different project where they came up to me and were like, Brianna, every time I look at you, I think of 12 Years a Slave.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
that film was a sad film. That film was a sad film. People died in that film. People suffered in that film. Why did she look
I don't know if it's because she maybe thought I looked like Lupita.
You never should look at somebody and think 12 Years a Slave. Like, are you alright? That doesn't make any sense.
Like, maybe at the time I was thinking maybe she thought I looked like Lupita.
I mean, you have short hair, but you didn't have, like, a red eye.
I mean, I don't look like her at all. But yeah, she didn't explain why. But yeah, I mean, it's another point where it doesn't hit you at the time. It hits you later.
It's weird. It's weird, and it's, it's just little things. Like, guys, please think about it. And, if you do have other black friends or, and please try and, like, it's not your job to look out for them, but I feel like if more white people speak up about it, then maybe eventually the word will spread and people will take note of it, because I'm pretty sure everyone, like, at least, like, there's not one black person that hasn't experienced, like, any racism in their entire life. Like, deep the whole point of racism. Imagine you were just born into this world. You didn't have to come into this world. You came into this world. You're just trying to survive, just trying to live your life, and then someone's decided, I'm just going to be a horrible person to you because of the colour of your skin.
Yeah, it's what you said about with white people, and it like, I believe it starts with them. Like, my boyfriend is white, And he's experienced an uncomfortable situation in seeing like a manager being like racist, subtle racism, if you like.